Hello, everybody. I am interviewing Julia Jarvis on the Middle Ages. Please enjoy. What was the nobles' rule in the feudal system? Nobles had to defend their own lands and sometimes the king's land. They were military caskets. What was the typical fare for a noble's feast? Well, the upper class ate animals, meats, bread, not many fruits because they thought that was a peasant's food. The lower class ate vegetables like turnips, salad, dark breads, porridge, cheese curds, beer, mead. On some occasions, if they were lucky, they would eat fish. That is very true. Did wealth affect style of clothing? Yes. They could only afford wool clothes that wrapped all the way around their body. That's tight, man. How did the church look upon your class? And what role did the church play in your life? The church baptized, buried, provided instructions and guidance. It also ran some schools for people who had right families. That concludes the nobles. Next is church. What was the church's role in the feudal system? Well, the Catholic Church taught that men were born sin, and it was only through them that they can go to heaven. Yeah. What eating restrictions did Christians follow? Well, a lot of classes ate meat, but most lower classes just couldn't afford it. Yeah. Did wealth affect the style of clothing for priests and bishops? Well, the house you lived in depends on what you wear and the type of class you're in, determined on what food you ate. Describe parts of a monastery. Many buildings were workplaces for monks and nuns. What roles or duties did women have in the Catholic Church? Just church. Well, powerful engines were influenced the rules of women and raised their condition in society. Okay, and next we're going to be talking about knights. Okay, so first question. What was the knight's role in the feudal system? Knights ranked the lowest, even though they were knights. Their job was to support and protect their lord. You're gonna suck in the mirror. Oh, continuing. Explain how a person was trained as a knight. Well, at 8 years old, the boy gets trained as a page. At age 16, he had to dress the knight in the morning, serve the knight's meals, and care for a knight's horse. Okay. What was the typical fare for a feast? Okay. Calm down. Those dots move, sweetie. Woo. Beef and mutton is mostly what they ate when they had meat. Okay. How were women in your class treated? Unfortunately, a woman was basically a slave to her husband. Like he owned her? Yeah. Most women had a hard time in that era. How did the church look upon your class? Well, people believed their souls were the most important things that they had. The church helped them by baptizing, and when they died, they buried them and conducted prayers for their souls. Well said, Julia. Next is peasants. What was the peasants' role in the feudal system? Thank you. And they supported the feudal system by working in the lands. What was the typical daily fare for peasants? Well, agriculture was the mainstay in the market economy.
Go.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Did wealth affect the style of
How
clothing?
women treated?
Well, they did most of the work around the house, and they were abused.
How did your church look upon your class?
It gave baptism, confirmation, mass, marriage, uncinction, funerals, and more. Thanks.